Greetings and salutations! Thank you for lending an ear to The Voice of the Times this Sunday, June 27, 2021. For today's editorial, Philippines better off without number coding scheme. The Manila Metropolitan Development Authority, or MMDA, is hesitating to reimpose the number coding scheme, which is meant to ease traffic congestion in the capital region. The scheme, which was replicated in some urban centers, had been suspended because there was no need for it during the lockdown. But with the economy reopening, the MMDA now wants to restudy it. We urge the MMDA to permanently scuttle that scheme. The agency was on point in noting that number coding, formerly known as the Unified Vehicular Volume Reduction Program, resulted in adding more cars on the road. Instead of reducing volume, people bought additional vehicles in order that they could use that on the day when their older car was prohibited from being on the road. The unfortunate ones who could not purchase even one vehicle, much less an alternative, simply had to bear the toll. And even though those in private cars were marginally more comfortable, they were still stuck in traffic just like everybody else. The economic cost of traffic congestion has been reported many times before the COVID-19 pandemic, but it seems relevant to mention it again. According to the Japan International Cooperation Agency, or JICA, traffic congestion costs Metro Manila 3.5 billion pesos a day. Without effective interventions, JICA warned that the economic costs could balloon to 5.4 billion pesos daily by 2035. Of course, those numbers become more alarming when we account for the fact that traffic congestion occurs throughout the country. In metropolitan Cebu, for instance, the man-hours lost because of traffic congestion were estimated at about 132 million pesos daily in 2016. These costs are again topical because traffic congestion is creeping back into the daily experience of motorists and commuters. The problem seems bound to worsen and incur pre-pandemic costs as quarantine measures are relaxed further in moves to reopen the economy. Granted, an argument could be made that the Skyway expansion now provides alternative routes to major thoroughfares, particularly EDSA, but motorists themselves will testify that several Skyway off-ramps are now bottlenecks during rush hour, and that the traffic congestion is again heavy along roads and highways, connecting the capital region with adjacent provinces. On avoiding reinvention, the fact that this problem has existed for so long also suggests that there is no shortage of alternative policies and programs that the MMDA and others in government could consider today. Among them, there is the idea of improving the public transportation system. Light rail authorities, for instance, need to enhance their maintenance systems to avoid frequent breakdowns and purchase more cars to increase carrying capacity. Perhaps the MMDA or others in the national government should also compel them to adopt modern technologies in ticketing to avoid long queues and hasten boarding and disembarking. Overall, the point here is to make the light rail system a more convenient commuting option. Regarding buses, the authorities should revisit proposals to pay drivers a daily wage, rather than a commission on passenger ticket sales. That was introduced before but was rolled back, perhaps because of legal challenges. We should have a system that avoids the practice of buses blocking lanes and cutting each other off as they compete for passengers. Of course, the government should also continue its ambitious infrastructure building program, even after President Rodrigo Duterte ends his term in 2022. We hope that the infrastructure agenda will be a major talking point this election season. Boosting public spending not only addresses traffic congestion, but also offers a pathway to economic recovery after the pandemic. For now, 70% of the country's gross domestic product, or GDP, is consumption. With that, private investments and government spending account for the remaining 30%. And because the Philippines is a net importer, the balance of trade does not add to the nominal GDP figure. Also, on infrastructure spending, we should invest more on public transportation systems such as railways, as mentioned in a previous editorial, rather than on just roads and bridges. Again, to sharpen our point, the quality of public spending is vital in addressing societal problems, be it traffic congestion or something else that weighs down economic development. And that's the editorial for Sunday, June 27, 2021. For more news and information, get a copy of the Manila Times on print, subscribe to our digital edition, or log on to www.manilatimes.net. Follow us on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram, and listen to The Voice of the Times.